Hello, everyone. My name is Danny. This review is for the movie called The Banker. This is a 2020 film. It is rated PG 13. It runs 2 hours and it stars Anthony Mackie, Samuel L. Jackson, and Nicholas Hoult. The description: in the 1960s, two African American entrepreneurs hire a working class white man to pretend to be the head of their business empire while they pose as a janitor and chauffeur. This is The Banker. Well, hello everyone. Don't know if you've heard of this movie or not, but it's one of the few 2020 movies that we've gotten to watch. And if you're able to find it, then you need to expose yourself to it, obviously. I think I heard that it's with Apple, and I'm not one of those who actually has the Apple TV or whatever that is. I don't know if it's free or not, but you might want to look into that if you want to really watch this movie. Otherwise, I'm sure it'll get exposed to other platforms pretty soon. So I watched on even a different platform than Apple TV. So yeah, this movie has three tremendous actors. Not sure what all anyone has done lately, but this is a good movie to put three people like this together. And obviously, maybe not obvious. Maybe they weren't planning on people seeing this too much. If they were just putting it out on Apple TV, kind of surprised that I was able to find it, honestly, and I think other people are gonna have a little bit of trouble finding it too. So it's a tremendous movie to put on just a little platform. I wish they would, figure out a way to put it on Netflix or something else for people to really watch. Maybe it'll be on demand too. But anyways, going forward is this is a story that is sort of like the Ocean's movies, or if you know who Eliza Doolittle is, I'll leave that out there for you. This is really interesting. Not what I thought I was getting into at all. And so when you see the title of The Banker, that's kind of misleading. And it's technically about a banker, but it has uh, lot of different meanings. Let's say that. So when we get into this movie, our real main character here is not Samuel L. Jackson and not Nicholas Hoult. Let's say that. They come later, and after our main character kind of starts to discover himself in California and figure out a way to survive and to thrive. And then things happen where he needs Samuel L. Jackson, and Samuel and him need Nicholas Hoult. And so things kind of spiral and advance in such a crazy manner that all three of them, it ends up being about all three of them. And so it's just such a loaded movie. It's going to throw a lot of numbers at you, being a very smart movie with smart characters and smart people, men that have been in the acting business for a long time, so they're able to handle all this information. I have no idea how people memorize this stuff, but it's this is one of those movies that's just, it's gonna impress you, because it has so much stuff in it. It has such a crazy situation that they're presenting to you, that if you just watch it and invest yourself for 2 hours, you can't help but be impressed because of how crazy it is. I'm just gonna touch on a little nugget here, that it is completely about racism and the situation of being accepted and all this stuff, with the career that you want to go into as a black man. And I just want to say on that subject, because we've watched so many movies that we're so saturated with movies like this, that are just about that topic, that this one actually handles the subject really well, because we're dealing with black men who know how to make money, and they are so above things that, they are able to either talk their way out of certain situations or be respectful and let people know who they are, or they're just so above buying into the whole, fighting for rights, because they've fought for their rights. They've made it to where they want to be in society, and now they're fighting for another battle. It's kind of confusing that way, but I really liked how they had our two older gentlemen in this movie of color really handle everything that came their way, either with humor or, just plain uprightness. So I think that they handled it really well. I appreciate a movie like this, not just going to the darkest area of racism, but having people handle it well and focusing on the story. I really appreciate how they handled that. So, the whole situation with Nicholas Hoult is the most interesting part of this movie, and there are some things that happen with him that you kind of wonder, like, really, you're kind of watching it and it's so good, and then you're like, really, but then they handle that thing well, and then they throw this other surprise at you, and then the way it ends, I think, is just a little disappointing. But I wish they would have, made a bigger production out of it. And it doesn't last as long as I wanted it to. But it's fine. It's how it happened in history. That's how they're going to handle it. So this being a true story and me liking it is kind of rare. And it's just, I like how they handled things. I like how they just kept things flying at you. There's really no slow part of this movie. There's some really good surprises. There's some really big twists. There's some really motivated people. No matter what the color of their skin is, they're motivated. And it's nice to watch movies like this, because then you get to see the passion between people's actions and words, going into a project. And that's just amazing to watch, really. No matter if it's a kid's science project or somebody's small business or something, people have ideas in this world, and it's nice to see them unfold. So I really did appreciate this movie. I hope I didn't talk too much about the details, because that's really what makes this movie. I hope you're able to seek it out. I hope you're able to watch it. I hope I'm able to buy it someday. I'm hoping it goes through the process, since it was supposed to be on such a small little Apple TV thing. So I'm going to give an A to The Banker. I completely was blown out of my mind with this movie. Really glad I was able to watch it. Really glad I can tell you guys about it. Seek it out. I hope I'm able to seek it out also. An A for The Banker. Thanks a lot, guys. My name is Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and get some of them to watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. Enjoy your movies. Thanks.